Vamos al mambo, tigres. No hacerle ahí sin mucho bla bla bla. A continuar. Esta es la parte 8. ¿Qué quedamos ayer? Ok. Este dice que el presidente es el culpable. Ya tú sabes cómo es la vuelta. $93 por 3. Esta vaina. El número como 001. Está armada duro. Ella no marca de que hace mucho daño, pero se lo lamen un 2 por 3 a los jugadores. Destinatario está en el despacho del presidente. Ok. Vamos al despacho del presidente. Muy bien, vamos allá. Así que nos dejan entrar para allá porque...
Oh, there. That's one right there.
The Acropolis district is off limits. Move along. What in the law's name are you on about? Honest mistake. Why don't you come back another time and we can take this from the top? Yeah, and I'd really like a new Hammersmith grenade launcher. Hammersmith, the most trusted brand in brutality. But we can't all have what we want. And seeing as you don't seem the executive sort, you obviously don't belong in the Acropolis district.
Va a tener que pagar.
Hey, I've been trying to get a post at the HHC, but they keep turning me down on account of my odious interpersonal skills. Or something.
You get paid by the word, Officer Windbag?
As a matter of fact, I get paid per profile, you marginally employed 20-something male with more guts than sense. Anyway, I've worked here long enough to know every clerk by name and face. And since I don't know yours, you ain't getting through. As I recall, you were saying something about being tired and needing a breather.
Dame darle eso.
Sure. Let me just take that off your hands. Did I say restricted area? Slip of the tongue. What I meant was, welcome to the Acropolis district.
What's just showing off?
Paga su chelito para entrar. Yo tengo un sello conmigo, ahorita falsifico yo una vuelta.
The board zone headquarters. Or as I like to call it, Jackass Central.
Welcome to the official headquarters of the Halcyon Holdings Corporation Board. Today's greeting is brought to you by Auntie Cleo, a subsidiary of Colway Pharmaceuticals.
Entonces, ¿para dónde que voy? ¿Puedo pasar?
State your business. Please step away. This entry is for high priority HHC business only. Huh. I didn't realize we were still using those iridescent stickers. But this looks right. I'll just need you to register your weapons with a revised request to carry 32B form. Each weapon will need a separate form. Now, let's see. Damn it. When did I run out of forms? You don't have to be sarcastic about it. Look, you don't have time to wait on new forms, and I can't afford the citations for impeding HAC business. So I'm going to save us both some trouble and waive your forms. Just know there are a bunch of guards upstairs, and they're all high on dervish mist and low on patience. So try anything funny, and they'll paint the walls with your guts.
Don't worry, boss, I got a plan. First, we get ourselves some tossball sticks, right? Then we sidle up to him all polite like?
These ain't humorous types, Felix.
Entonces parecen a Citripio. Tengo dos escoltas aquí que no cogen esa. Coño, ni dice qué piso es. Saludos, buenas.
Apologies for the wait. I was arranging my stationery. Personal assistant to Adjutant Akande and Chairman Rockwell.
Okay.
I'm also responsible for organizing the adjutant's stationery, which is more of a hobby. Ah. Oh, you were being serious. I'm obliged to inform you that Chairman Rockwell is unavailable for an indeterminate duration. Will there be anything else?
Esperen un segundo ahí.
How may I... Excuse me, just a moment. I beg your pardon, Minister Clark's former office is currently closed to solicitors. I suppose that is admissible. Please try not to break anything.
Echa para allá, tumba polvo.
Look at this fancy office. Chairman's bleeding the whole colony dry.
Good afternoon. I'm Chairman Rockwell, and I'm here to address a serious issue facing us. As you all know, our colony has been successful beyond our wildest dreams. Unfortunately, we've recently discovered that our food supply will not be able to sustain Halcyon's population in the long term. Everyone will die. Everyone will slowly stop living from malnutrition. But we're doing it together, and that's what matters.
I fucking swear, if someone doesn't give me something to read that will placate the masses soon, all of you will find yourselves violently unemployed.
But I can assure you there's nothing to fear. We've got a solution. It's called the Lifetime Employment Program. We will freeze most of the colony to preserve resources, while the best and brightest of Byzantium continue living in prosperity.
Look, you idiots! How many times do I have to tell you we can't say shit like that? Fire whoever wrote this!
While Halcyon's brightest minds solve the problem of our nutritional shortage, the rest of the colony will be placed in suspended animation. Individuals will be revived on a rotating basis, so that every Halcyon can be part of the important work of saving our colony. By testing paperweights. Sorry, couldn't resist. Let's go again. And someday, in the not-too-distant future when we've solved this crisis, we'll all be back together again working for the good of Halcyon. Until then, the board shall provide for the deserving just as it always has. So, obey your supervisors, take your vitamins, follow your corporate mandated grooming rituals, and rest assured with the board on your side, there is nothing to worry about.
Tremendo mensaje del presidente.
Always knew the board was crooked.
Ok, vamos allá. Vamos a buscar esto.
I think I'm gonna start taking my lunches out in the city. That woman downstairs is still in the cafeteria.
That scientist? The one who's been hounding the clerks? Ooh, gives me the shudders, too. Best not to ask.
Incoming, Captain!
Ese pleito no estaba programado, hay que cargar las partidas. Ahorita desde que yo salga por ahí me dan plomo.
That woman from downstairs is still in the cafeteria.
That scientist? The one who's been hounding the clerks? Ooh, gives me the shudders, too. Don't let the guards hear you asking questions. Or peeking in the back.
Not so fast. The Ministry of Accuracy and Morale is off limits to everyone without X-36 level clearance.
What level clearance? You're just making up words.
Basically, if you don't work here, or for Chairman Rockwell himself, you're not getting in. I don't know how you got that, but I still don't know you, and I don't have any new clearances on the list.
Hey, did Tillman get transferred or something?
That's right. You weren't here when it happened. Some UDL officers took him into custody.
Oh, law, what did they take him for?
UDL's been questioning anybody with possible connections to him as well.
So UDL's interrogating Tillman? Ugh, that's disgusting. Can't believe I...
A ver, ¿pero dónde que voy a darle para allá adentro entonces? Dame a ver. Allá abajo, que está ahí, ¿cómo paso para allá?
Heads up, boss! Ha!
Getting behind cover!
¿Quién será que tiene entonces el disfraz de esos guardias que estaban ahí? Sorry.
Let the record show that Citizen 23K's cause of death is cerebral vascular incident brought about by a ruptured aneurysm.
That's an 86% failure rate for this guy. I think we
Hold it right there. No visitors allowed, citizen. I'm gonna need to see some identification. What? I don't need to see your identification. Move along.
A ver si podemos hacer esto sin violencia. Vamos a ver.
Like I said. And you're still not cleared. Nothing exciting ever happens around here.
Incoming! Open fire! You sure, Cap! I can do
¿Cuál es que tiene la vaina entonces?
the Oak is in trouble!
Nada, ya lo hecho está. No hay que hacerlo así.
Take a look inside.
What's this I hear about you ordering more tests performed with sample 4157? That's actually spectacular. to work.
I haven't. I really should concentrate on what I'm doing.
What? Hey, I saw that. No visitors. Sure. Law save us. Makes you wonder what kind of things. Just don't let me. Got a promotion coming. I can feel it.
Me quedé bugueado aquí ahora. Se jodían esos que estaban ahí. A la que esta gente no me tiren de una vez. Diario. Con Phineas. Se fue el muchacho. Déjame ver. Ahora sí.
Sam, you have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
No one ever looks quite the same in person as they do in my reports. And my reports of you have been exceptionally thorough. You've had quite a career. I'm glad to hear that. This may come as a surprise, but I happen to enjoy your work. I've been keeping up with you ever since Emerald Vale. Now that was an interesting piece of work. A rundown backwater, barely worth the ink on a map. Until you showed up. Today the region is profitable for the first time in years. Its workers are productive. They might even be happy. All this happened because some mysterious stranger fell out of the sky. You have something I want. I'd like to negotiate. Phineas Wells is wanted by the board. I want to convince you to turn him in to us. He has a litany of charges against him. Vandalism, illegal experimentation, sedition. I could go on. Wells is a dangerous madman. His plan is going to endanger everyone in Halcyon. He's an obsessive psychopath. And he's using you. You're in contact with Wells. I want you to send us a tracing signal from his communication terminal.
Qué maldita señal.
Don't worry about pay. The board always rewards good work. Wells was our mistake. We failed to apprehend him for years. I'm asking you to help me correct that mistake. I'm sending you my access code. Contact me from Wells's terminal. When you're done, come speak to me in my office.
Adjutant Akonde's call has been terminated. Will there be anything else, Captain? We have successfully arrived.
Ya cree que yo voy a traicionar al viejo que me liberó.
And we are still in one piece.
Hey, boss. I want to talk to you.
If we wanted the board's attention, we got options. Piracy, vandalism, maybe some light arson. We want to put some fear in the board, right? Get them scared of us. Board don't know the meaning of the word respect. The only language they understand is exploitation.
Okay.
You just got an audience with Sophia Akonde. That's the adjutant to the chairman? You sure we should be trusting her?
No.
If you think she's using us, why'd you give her the time of day? That's cold, boss. I like it. I know we're freelancers and all. We take work where we can find it. But we gotta be vigilant, you know? This is how the board gets you. A job here, an errand there. Before you know it, you're calling him sir and ma'am. I appreciate your time. Let's get back to it.
No, yo no quiero traicionar a Phineas, que lo que.
I've kept myself busy in your absence, optimized my formula. I'm now confident I can revive the remaining colonists. All I need now is the dimethyl sulfoxide. I'll take as much as you can give me.
Te traje mucho, sí.
Human test subjects. Oh, that's grotesque. That's unthinkable. That's exactly what I'd expect.
Yo no sabía que si me lo llevaba a todos iban a morir esa gente que estaba ahí.
Thank you. You've brought me enough chemicals to get started, at least. I'm just sorry they came at the cost of human lives.
Sí, no sabía yo realmente.
Those poor people. They must have died in agony. What exactly was the board trying to accomplish? I know. I've suspected as much for years. Of course, I don't expect the board to do a thing about it. They've been driving our colony to the brink of destruction for decades. The board's mismanagement put our colony on the road to collapse. If we don't put a stop to them, thousands of colonists are going to die. Hold on. Let me see if I understand this correctly. You're saying that Halcyon's on the brink of total collapse? And the chairman's plan to save all of us is to save himself? I always knew Halcyon was heading toward a systems collapse, but I never imagined we were already there. The board made this crisis, and now they want to solve it by freezing the rest of us? That's not a plan. That's a goddamn escape clause. Do you realize what this means for the Hope? For your fellow colonists? The board's going to kill them all. Toss them out into space, just to make room in their hibernation chambers. Short of lining up every member of the board and shooting them in the back of the head.
Bueno.
Do you know what's waiting for us on the Hope? Scientists, engineers, artists, the brightest minds Earth ever sent us, uncorrupted by the board. The board's going to dispose of them all and transform the Hope into a prison for the rest of us. They're likely on their way to the Hope as we speak. We need to get to those colonists before the board. I have enough chemicals to start reviving a few of them, but no easy way to get them off the Hope. All right, I've got it. We can't possibly take my lab and all my equipment to the Hope, yes? That would be insane, so we do the slightly less insane thing. We bring the Hope to us. Skip the entire ship across the distance of colony space, right next to my lab.
Casi nada.
If we link up the Hope to the Unreliable, then use your navigational computer to calculate a reasonably safe vector, we can skip the entire colony ship into the rings of Terra 2.
I don't understand a word you said, Doc. All I know is, if we're gonna hijack a colony ship, count me in.
Yes, excellent. I approve of your enthusiasm, young man. You should ask your captain for a raise.
Hey.
You'll need to switch on the Hope's
Se me la
auxiliary
palabra.
power using the Unreliable. Then head to the bridge. Your navigational computer, Ada, should be able to activate the Hope's skip drive. Once you've skipped the Hope next to my lab, I'll have easy access to the frozen colonists. I can start reviving them immediately. Certainly. Unlikely. The Hope is as massive as the Groundbreaker, but compared to the rings of Terra 2, positively minuscule.
Okay.
The board might notice, possibly, depending on the position of their heads relative to the depth of their collective posteriors.
Inventario.
I've heard those iconic... What's on your... You absolutely should. The adjutant must have sent you some kind of tracking code. If don't use the code, she'll suspect you betrayed her. I think you should use the code and send a corrupted tracking signal. That should buy me some time. The enemy is bound to discover my hideout sooner or later. I'm prepared for that eventuality. This is just my way of buying myself a little time. Use my communications terminal to corrupt the tracking signal. While the board busies themselves trying to decipher it, I'll have plenty of time to prepare my defenses.
Okay.
Certainly. It wouldn't surprise me. When I pulled you out of the Hope, the board nearly intercepted me. I know you're wondering why I'm doing all this. Why I believe the people on the Hope are the answer to the colony's problems. The Hope is carrying some of humanity's most brilliant thinkers, scientists, engineers, experts in their field. If we work together, we can still find a way to save Halcyon. The board would have us believe Halcyon is beyond saving. I choose to believe otherwise. If there's even the slightest chance we can save Halcyon from oblivion, then we have to take it. That should do it. You've bought me more than enough time.
Meto puntito por aquí. Nokia.
If you don't, you have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
Bueno.
I'm impressed, Captain. I almost expected you wouldn't go through with it. Unfortunately, Dr. Wells found a way to corrupt the signal before we could pinpoint his location. Still, it's only a matter of time before we find him. Come visit me in Byzantium. We need to have a talk about the future of this colony. Because I'm not in the business of arresting my own allies. You have my word. Meet me in my office. I've authorized your ship at my personal landing pad.
Adjutant Akande has ended her call. Rather rudely, if I might say, considering she didn't sign off. Will there be anything else, Captain? We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from our ship to the Hope's auxiliary generator. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her central computer to enable the skip drive. If your calculations are even slightly off, you could crash the entire colony ship into Terra too. Or the sun. Captain, I hope Dr. Wells has not dragged you into one of his irrational schemes again. My diagnosis of his mental stability is not flattering. Sending a corrupted tracking signal to the board was quite clever, if I might say, Captain.
Dame la luz.
We gotta talk about this.
You know, they're gonna make a serial about our adventures one day. I've been trying to think of a good title for this episode. I like the sound of The Skip Job. No, wait, I got it. Hope in dark times. Get it? Hope? Like the ship. That's what folks in the business call wordplay.
También tendría que tener un nombre.
Nothing gets past you, boss. In fact, I've been thinking about what we'd call our adventure serial. Thrilling Tales of the Unreliable. Or maybe Spine-Chilling Stories from the Edge of the System. Was also considering Astounding Adventures in the Ether. I'm partial to that last one. Not bad. Got a nice ring to it. Stealing the hope from the board, skipping it across the whole damn system. This is gonna be great. I can't wait. Enough to boost my pay? I'm just kidding, boss. I know you don't pay me. I'm sure you've got plans to make. As for me, I gotta keep practicing my signature dropkick. The Hope might have cameras.
Oye, pero estoy subiendo de nivel como aumenta aquí. Ujú. Ujú. Por algún motivo. Ujú. Modificar. Rastrear.
You know, when they posted us here, I told them there wasn't any point. Nobody would be so stupid as to fly to the ass end of the colony for this derelict.
Bueno, aquí
Shows how
estoy yo.
much I know. You've got about 5 seconds to tell me what you're doing here before I make you take a walk outside.
Escúchame usted, comando. Inventario.
Great work.
Entonces vamos a ver el fusil que me dio ahí. 121 hace eso. Debe ir al banco de trabajo a ver qué es lo que es. ¿De tapadita? ¿Y dónde fue yo ver el banco de trabajo? Ok. Inventario. Ujú. Tiene 30. Daño menos 50%. Esta modificación electrifica la munición de la recámara justo antes de disparar. Ya. Entonces vamos a ver qué pasa aquí ahora.
You get tired of patrolling? Just go rough somebody up.
Systems error. Hope crew data not found. Identify yourself. Error. Paradox protection. Error. Paradox prevention has temporarily disabled this unit's auditory processing. Thank you for your cooperation.
Y yo no cogí la tarjeta de ahí. Personaje, inventario. Inventario.
Nicely done. Great work.
Vean eso.
Processing. Sweeping. The trespassers discovered. Records indicate you have already been identified as non-standard personnel. This unit is in perfectly functional condition. There is no need for a service request here. Affirmative.
Can you hear me, Captain? I
Chip.
have successfully integrated myself into the Hope's comm systems, and am attempting to establish contact with the Hope's more primitive processor now. Would you like me to play a mood-suitable music selection while you travel to the bridge? Oh, sorry. File not found.
A ver cómo salgo de aquí ahora sin que tu tigre.
Poor bastards. They're never gonna wake up. The least we could do is bury them.
¿Qué es esto?
Looking good, soldier.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him. Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. It's a rather cramped feeling, but it'll do.
Que funcione.
Probably not, but don't let that stop you. My Constellation executables could use some beefing up. Searching. Please stand by. Ah, found one. It will go great, Captain. I am almost
Sound basic.
4.01% certain we will not die. Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. Skipping the Hope will void the warranty on the skip drive. And also potentially kill an entire planet. How is my humor now, Captain? Improved? Wait, are you leaving me with the Hope's computer? You have no idea what it's like to converse with him. Imagine, simulate another organic jostling your circuits when he tries to... I mean, I'll be ready when...
Vamos a hacer un salvadito aquí.
I wouldn't have...
Worst way is to go out, I suppose. Nice knowing you, boss.
Admitting a deficit. My, you never cease to amaze me, Captain. Skipping the hope in 3, 2, 1.
ADN. Does your captain seriously intend to do a micro-jump in system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years on a derelict ship?
That is what my captain intends, yes.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive. The Zero Point Drives Corp and I will not be held responsible for any damage incurred during transport, and this will cause extreme damage.
Yes, I am aware of that.
You should not be doing this. The humans will die.
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are a go. Captain, I would advise you to hold on to something. Now.
Espérate. ¿Qué va a pasar? Al sol lo vamos a meter. Se acabó ahí. Bueno, hay que tener esperanza, así se llama la nave.
Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps you should check in on him.
Ugh. I feel like my stomach's still back where the ship used to be. I need a hard drink and a long nap.
Todavía seguimos en esta vaina prohibido. Y este ya no puedo darle un golpe por la espalda, vamos a ver. Está bien. Me estoy creyendo que a noquear lo que yo voy. Y a robando la que estoy. Mira este gancho. Pues yo no he visto a este encaramándose nunca en nada. Ay, mi madre. Ok. Felix. Cuida de la patada este. No. Okay.
And the crowd goes wild.
Mira, mierda, aquí había otra puerta. Él pudo salvarse y toda la vaina. Ya.
These were the private quarters of the Hope's former crew. Shall we hold a moment of silence for the dearly departed? No? That's odd, because my programming would indicate that when forced to confront the idea of self-death, organics prefer... Oh, I see. Yes, never mind.
Must feel like coming home for you, boss.
Yo creo que mapa. ¿Para arriba o para abajo? No, por aquí que venimos. Estamos mandando para abajo ahora.
Captain, I am receiving a Captain, I shall now play the transmission I received from Dr. Wells.
Thank the Lord you warned me. I was able to get some defenses up, but they might not be enough. The board has sent some serious firepower to pry me out of here. They're trying to get in here, and I'm not sure I can stop them. If they capture me, if we can't communicate again, there's something very important you need to remember. The board, all their lackeys, they're all a bunch of swine. Do you hear me? They're fucking corporate swine. You fucking pigs! I'll take you all out with me! I'll never...
It would seem the recording captured some rather dire events. I presume you'll want to dock at the orbital lab to check on your associate as soon as possible? How can I be of assistance? See you soon. Now arriving at Phineas's top secret orbital lab.
Yo hablando aquí con micrófono muteado.
Heads up, boss! Nobody messes with you, boss!
That's the last of them.
Lo vine a investigar y me entran a tiro. El puerquito se salvó de casualidad. Okay.
Wow! Nice work!
Ay, la esperanza. El cerdo, El cerdo. Okay. A ver, pues yo creo que lo más recomendable sería lootear toda esta área porque yo no he explorado todo esto por aquí. Ujú. No son las armas pesadas, entonces. Cuando viene esa ametralladora ligera, ametralladora pesada. Fusil de asalto pesado y ligero, déjame ver. Salto ligero, ok. Arma pesada, armas largas, pistolas. De cañoncillo que me dio espina.
I believe the crew would like to speak with you to, as you humans put it, air some concerns.
Ok, vamos a ver. Hablen.
Those board goons kidnapped Mr. Phineas and hauled him away to Tartarus. How are we gonna get him out?
And here we are, entertaining the notion of busting him out. That's insane. And likely a hell of a lot of fun.
To extract the scientist, you will need to infiltrate the labyrinth. But that course of action is likely to be quite dangerous, Captain.
Captain, come on. Even I've heard of the biggest prison the colony's ever seen. And on some occasions, I literally live under rocks.
Still, we can't do nothing. It wouldn't be right.
The armed surveillance protocols on a maximum security prison planet are highly sophisticated. As such, escapes are historically quite impossible and deadly. I am programmed to warn you whenever you exhibit inclinations toward risky behavior. Breaking into Tartarus will not be easy.
¿Y qué opciones
Let's
tenemos?
just do it. Kick down some doors, grab Doc Wells, and cut a path out. We don't need a plan. We got guns.
If you really mean to do this, you should see to your final affairs and close out any unfinished business. Once you sneak into Tartarus, you may be there a while. Or permanently.
You didn't hire me to think. And I ain't about to start now. You're my boss. And I'll walk into fire with you.
Bueno, al tártaro literal.
But maybe the colony needs a healthy dose of insanity right about now.
I know it's dangerous. And I won't lie and say I'm not scared out of my wits. But I couldn't live with myself if we didn't do something.
Let Sam get the grime out. It's what our units do best.
The entire plan is a terrible idea. But I admire your bravado, Captain. Which leads me to illogically believe, against the odds, that you will be successful.
We gonna prepare? Sure. Guess I could give my ass-kicking boots another coat of polish. You got some sort of plan in mind?
No.
Let's try to stay off of the main thoroughfares then. I don't want to have to hurt anyone who don't got it coming.
¿Qué más hay en esta nave? Son las habitaciones, seguro, de los tigres. Parece que no tiene dueño. Era un enemigo, yo no sé. Era un espía. Vamos ya. Abrirnos paso a los tiros limpios. ¿Cómo? Espérate entonces, ¿cómo así? O sea, que esa viene siendo la misión final prácticamente. Entonces, ¿qué sería recomendable? Hacer las dos secundarias. O sea, los dos DLC tal vez. Es lo que dice aquí, vamos a ver. Ok, vamos a ver un guardado aquí. Eso es lo que no quiere dejar dicho, creo yo. Un guardado aquí.
I am pleased to inform you that we have arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that the punishment for trespassing is execution. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible at this time. Resident count is as follows: 3,071. Resident deaths, including but not limited to executions, are as follows: 1,684. Resident escapes are as follows: 0. The interior can be chilly. Take a scarf with you, Captain. I would also ask that you leave your captain's ID with me, in the event that you do not return. Understood. If you die or are incarcerated for life, I can generate a new ID for the next captain. I would prefer if you return, though. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am receiving a transmission from the prison's docking authority now.
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a maximum security installation. Your presence here is an explicit violation of UDL corporate policy. You are hereby confined to your docking platform until a ticket detailing your crimes has been filed and notarized, at which point your vessel will be seized and you will be executed. Your ship is not permitted to leave until you remit payment for your fines and submit yourself to execution.
¿Cómo así?
Only after your smoking corpse is thrown from an airlock will we lift the lockdown on your spacecraft.
Captain, I would not recommend this course of action.
Protocol is important, sir. The sentencing of one crime does not preclude the sentencing of another, technically speaking. Tartarus Docking Authority signing up. Hang on. Looks like you're gonna have company at the execution. Another ship just pulled into your dock. Wait, is that from the Groundbreaker? What the? Pay no mind to that. Just have a pleasant day.
Transmission terminated. How can I be of assistance?
¿Cómo que llegó la pionera?
icebreaker. Not while I breathe with you. Push on, my guy. Everyone all right?
Vamos, que tengo ayuda, coño.
System alert.
Feli, dispara, Feli. Ya, coño, a la mala.
Wonder how long we'd last on the surface.
Gotta admit, I'm not too keen on walking into a prison. They lock me up, I'm liable to kill everyone trying to get back out.
Lead the way, boss. I got your back.
Que también que me está tirando.
Here they come!
Bueno, toda la basura. Ahí, esto tiene 63. ¿Cuánto tiene la armadura? No, vamos a ver. Ok, no. Diablo, 84. Poneme esa. Cerrajería, no, pero espérate. Ese está bueno, pues. Si yo quiero abrir cualquier vaina, me pongo esos dos trajes y a correr los leques. Entonces, ahora este es el momento de ponerle su vaina bien a estos tigres. Esta vaina no me convenció, no, 53 por 3. La pistola dama. A ver, Félix, ¿qué tiene montado? 74. Una leeta, Félix. De maduro. 182 y que madura. Nioca. 165. Un sniper de 144. Una leeta arma. De equipo tiene 41. 36. Y Félix tiene 34 y 41. Hay que ponerle algo mejor. Comprar uno de estos. Félix 31. Monte CS. $41. A la basura, a la basura, a la basura. $56. Déjame comprar esto intentando ver. Claro. Ujú. Modificar. El mío está bien. Porque tiene todo lo que KKBL. Y de estos tigres vamos a ponerle algo. Tiene blindaje de liquidación. Modificadores. Talento de tecnología. Talento defensivo. Talento de arma cuerpo a cuerpo. El arma de Félix. Tiene todo. Son las armas modificadas. Las mías también. Ok. Entonces, ¿cuál es el equipamiento que tiene esta tipa? Ok, vamos a trastear entonces, que a subirlo. Esta la tengo yo. Ese sniper no es tan bueno. Cuesta un dinero. 30% de recargo. Este es de que alimentos y financiamiento CP. No estamos ready. Vamos ya. Juan ahí. ¿Están locos, eh? Ok, vamos a ver qué hay aquí. Ya que estamos de paso por la prisión luteando. Ah. Pero pues si yo quería hacerlo en modo sigiloso era. Debieron decírmelo antes entonces. Too late.
This is what the board wants. Every worker in Halcyon stuffed into one of those chambers.
No creo.
Yeah! Now that was fun!
Let's go to Stellar Base.
Me linchaban ahí, eran muchos.
troops. Stellar Base counting on us.
Ah, porque yo cogí también a lo que era mi jadía y empecé a dispararle. Solo va un boy.
Incoming!
Well, look who it is.
Te mamaste.
I'll be damned. I was prepping the studio for our announcement, and here you are as a bonus. And I see you've brought the kid along. Babysitters may be expensive, but they're worth it, you know.
Yeah, keep talking, pal. I'll just keep thinking of a place to bury your body.
Ah, I knew I smelled Monarch when you lot walked in. The stench of sulfur, depression, and desperate bravado is unmistakable.
Keep talking, and you'll be smelling iron. Ain't nobody so important I won't put a bullet in him.
When you go off and get yourself shot, try to avoid taking one to the face. I'll want it recognizable to show to my citizens. I'm not in your way, you dullard. You talk to me.
Yo no,
you want to go die in a blaze of glory? Be my guest. Besides, I don't know what you think you're doing here, but Sophia's doing good work up there with Phineas. Your efforts will be in vain.
¿Y por qué no matamos a este tigre? Ya. No.
You guys see that? Looks like we're doing this. We all in one piece?
All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So, get in there and fight!
Stay down, Miss Green. What? Take him down!
Bueno, así es más fácil con toda ayuda que yo traje.
Are you? Because
Take a breath now, folks. Once we're up there, I suspect we ain't gonna have time to stop shooting.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life. You've been working with Dr. Wells from the beginning. When we moved to arrest him, he was prepared. I lost good soldiers in the attempt. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty. Do you imagine you're leading some grand revolutionary army?
Me gustaría creérmelo,
The
sí.
iconoclasts and MSI have put aside their differences and attacked the prison together. I never imagined such a thing would be possible. But here we are. You're nothing but a rabble-rouser. I'm going to put an end to your little rebellion, and then I'm going to have you and your associates arrested. You make a nuanced and compelling argument. Here's my rebuttal. No. Dr. Wells is being held in my custody. His cooperation will prove invaluable, even if I have to beat it out of him. All that's left to do is put down this riot, arrest you, and then get on with the bloody business of saving this colony. In that we are in agreement. An end to violence is precisely what I want. An end to chaos. An end to senseless loss of life. The only obstacle standing in my way is you. I take no pleasure in this, you know. I simply have no other option. Leaving you alive is too great a risk. Goodbye, Captain.
Ok. ¿Cuál tiro será?
Fair enough. This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. And don't worry, I will inform
My job's done!
Wow. Que había demasiada cosita chiquita tirando ahí.
Unexpected performing and incoming cap. Heads up, jackass!
Ah, para no salieron chiquitos. Fíjate que tiene una tarjeta. No hace sentido para nada. Está como muy oscuro ahí. Ah, ahí, sí, mejor. El diablo, ¿quién fue que la mató?
Get me out of here! You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved, and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough. Ah, all in a day's work for you, huh? You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated. I would like nothing more than to celebrate this victory, but we have a serious problem on our hands. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
Hold on, Doc. Are you telling me the Earth went dark 3 years ago, and the board's just been covering this up?
They've been incredibly effective at concealing the truth. Right now, the only people in the colony who know are standing in this room.
So we've got to make do on our own. Seems to me that'll make us stronger in the end anyhow.
You're quite right. We've got no choice but to make do on our own. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own. Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
Póngame nómina.
When I revived you, I thought you were going to help me save this colony. I was wrong. I had our roles reversed, you see. You're the one who's going to save us all. I'm just the one who set you on your path. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds.
Siempre te está tirando bueno.
Exciting, isn't it?
Descanso.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history.
Aquí acabó.
The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the
¿Y los
stars.
subtítulos?
The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival.
Okay.
Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Sublight Salvage adapted to the
Lo que quieran que traduzca me avisan.
shifting their business model to suit the times. Their claims of legitimacy were scrutinized, but ultimately unquestioned. Lilia Hagen would continue to protect her family as ruthlessly as ever. After returning to Edgewater, the deserters negotiated workplace reforms with Reed Thompson, including a single day of rest, which came to be known as a weekend. As the world around him changed, Thompson found himself pining for the old days. He was known to spend his weekends in the cantina, nursing one of the few remaining bottles of Zero G, and repeating to himself, "It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's choice."
Ahí fue que empezó esa vaina.
As for Adelaide McDevitt, she tended to her garden in solitude for another year before passing away. Her body was discovered some months later.
Se murió la vieja.
Reed Thompson paid her a visit in an effort to make amends. Her remains were buried in a place of honor underneath the floor of the Edgewater Cannery. Reed believed this was what she always wanted. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence.
La
Her ship's
pionera.
mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. Though Parvati eventually grew comfortable aboard the Unreliable, she never quite came out of her shell. She seemed to prefer
Nunca
the
salió del
company
closet.
of Ada to the crew, and she could often be found neck-deep in cables and grease, telling Ada funny stories from her childhood.
Okay.
While the colony fell into chaos, she found an island of relative peace with Ada, and they formed
Se-
an unusual bond.
Se encariñó con Ada.
She decided to remain aboard the Unreliable permanently.
Se quedó en la
as
nave
chief
permanente.
and sole engineer. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness
Nyoka
experts.
volvió a Monarch.
Anyone in need of a guide or
Formó un grupo
just looking
llamado Los
to throw back
Terranos.
a beer and swap stories could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales.
Okay.
Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony.
Okay.
Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals.
Sí, mala mía, yo no sabía.
End, Dr. Wells was able to save every
Ahí está diciendo la vida que se perdieron por los químicos que yo recogí.
Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later.
Está muy viejito. Dice que se murió unos años después y su trabajo lo continuaron los científicos.
The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon.
Las colonias se unificaron.
There exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you? The unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon.
¿Qué hay de mí? La variable
Long after Wells passed
que no
away,
contaban.
you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived
está en 27 Celsius y está dando duro.
Colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
For years to come. El final de la historia principal. Entonces yo creo que sí, vamos a dejarlo hasta ahí. Mañana vamos a seguir con los DLC. Me imagino que no son muy largos, tal vez lo podemos hacerlo. Veo que son 2 DLC, tal vez lo podemos hacer mañana los 2. Si no, ya veremos. Y aquí, porque dice como de viajar a la Tierra, no sé si será parte de los DLC o qué. Vamos a darle a continuar aquí a ver qué pasa. ¿Y esa buceadera y qué fue? Ok, aquí volvió al mismo punto, fue. ¿Qué pasa aquí? No me diga que va a ser lo mismo.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing.
Vamos hablando toda esta vaina.
Hold on.
The OSI teaches that everything, from the moment, the events on...
Ok. Ok, entonces parece que no. Que no hay más nada que buscar, sino los DLC. Peligro en Gorgona. Vamos a... Radio Monarch Libre y inmersión espacial. Después de completar alguna de estas misiones, pueden volver a tu nave. Ok. Pues ya yo la había completado, sí. Bahía Estelar. Ok, entonces será entonces cargar la partida desde aquí. Dame darle aquí a ver. Ok. Diario. Ok, aquí sí podemos. Ya. Bien, pues nada, pues mañana le hacemos eso. Gracias por venir y nos vemos luego.